They didn't come for war. They didn't come for peace either. They came for her. Her name was Elena Mwangi. And she was, without exaggeration, the most beautiful woman Earth had ever seen. But her beauty wasn't just physical. It radiated from her in ways that couldn't be explained with measurements or metrics. People stopped talking when she walked into a room. Not because she demanded attention, but because her presence was otherworldly. She lived a quiet life in Nairobi, teaching music at a local primary school. Her days were simple: tea in the morning, a walk through Karura Forest, soft laughter with students as she played the old upright piano with chipped keys. She didn't chase fame. She didn't chase anything, really. And maybe that's why the universe came chasing her. Far from Earth, in a galaxy known only in whispers among interstellar travelers, existed a species called the Drexery. Cold, clinical, elegant. Their society had long abandoned emotion, creativity, and choice. In pursuit of what they called the eternal ideal, they collected beauty, not as appreciation, but as possession. Paintings, music, statues, beings. And when they intercepted Earth's transmissions, movies, music videos, fashion shows, their systems picked up something anomalous. A pattern. A face. One that did not align with any known symmetry rule, yet caused measurable emotional spikes in every Drexery that viewed it. That face was Elena's. They sent a collector ship. Not with noise or fire. With silence. Elena was walking through the forest humming a lullaby when the world shimmered. One blink, and she was gone. No struggle. No warning. She woke up in what looked like a garden from her dreams. Flowers bloomed in colors unknown to Earth. The air smelled of honey and snow. It was quiet. Too quiet. The sky was made of stars she didn't recognize. And the only sound was her own heartbeat. A voice greeted her, not with words but thoughts. You are in the gallery of perfection. You have been chosen. Rejoice. But Elena didn't rejoice. She listened. She observed. And most importantly, she remembered. The Drexery didn't mistreat her. They gave her luxury. Clothes woven with stardust. Meals crafted by molecules. A room that shifted into whatever her mind desired. But the windows, if they could be called that, never opened. And no one ever came to speak to her directly. She wasn't a guest. She was a display. It took her only days to understand. Other chosen ones existed in this ship, this floating museum. Some were dancers from the moons of Kalek. Some were singers from waterworlds. All were beautiful in their own way, and all were silent now. Some had not spoken in decades. Their voices taken not by force, but by hopelessness. But Elena was human. And if there's one thing the universe underestimates, it's the human spirit. She began humming. Quietly. A simple tune. It had no lyrics, just memory. The sound of rain against iron rooftops. The rhythm of mother tongue. The pain of abduction and the defiance of survival. At first, nothing happened. But then, things began to shift. The drones that passed her door began to slow. The lights flickered. The walls vibrated. She sang louder. And across the halls of the Drexery ship, others began to stir. The silent dancers began to move again, not perfectly, but wildly, freely. The singers found fragments of songs long forgotten. Sculptors broke their confinement and turned their cells into art. Elena wasn't trying to escape. She was infecting the ship. With emotion. With humanity. The Drexery panicked. They tried isolating her. Sealing her room. Blocking her voice. But every system they built was logical, predictable. Human emotion wasn't. They brought her before their emperor, Serenith the Eternal Mirror. A towering figure of silver and glass, whose face reflected everyone but himself. You are disrupting perfection, he said. If you continue, we will erase your memories and preserve only your form. She looked up at him, not with fear, but with something far more dangerous, calm. You think beauty is what you see. But it's not. It's what we do. What we feel. What we create. You can cage a body. But you cannot own a soul. They threatened. She laughed. They offered her more luxury. She sang louder. And the ship broke. Not physically. Culturally. Emotionally. The younger Drexery, those who hadn't yet been fully indoctrinated, started asking questions. Why couldn't they feel? Why did they collect what they didn't understand? One by one, cracks formed in their perfect glass empire. And finally, they begged. They brought her back to Earth in silence. No war. No warning. Just a single shuttle landing outside Nairobi at dawn, and Elena stepping out, untouched, smiling. But she wasn't alone. A group of alien artists, dancers, and Drexery defectors followed her. They had tasted something they never knew they missed. Life. Chaos. Imperfection. Beauty. The world watched in awe as Elena told her story, not in anger but in truth. She became a global figure. Not because of what had been done to her, but because of how she had answered it. Not with violence. Not with vengeance. But with a voice. A voice that broke a species. A voice that reminded the universe that humanity was not to be displayed on shelves. We were not ornaments. We were not trophies. We were not to be owned. We were dangerous. Not because of our weapons, but because of our spirit. And as one Drexery scholar later wrote in shame, we took what we thought was perfect. But what we got was human. And it was more than we could ever contain.